An all-out shadow war rages in this sector of Primus. The gangs of House Escher, House Goliath, and the Corpse Grinder cult agree to a moot. There are no olive branches on Necromunda, however, and each gang's leader has come to force the others into submission. It was only a matter of time before a gun was drawn, and all hell breaks loose. Our story picks up there in Week 6 of Shadows of Primus.
Welcome back to the final week of our Necromunda Dominion campaign. Today we will have a three-way battle between the Nines of House Escher, the Thunderhawks of House Goliath, and the Crimson Fane Corpse Grinder cult. We've got a lot to cover leading up to this one, as all gangs will be spending their remaining funds to get a win today. A quick glance at the campaign table shows the Nines at 1 and 4, the Thunderhawks and the Crimson Fane at 2 and 3. The Nines have 90 credits to spend, with the Death Maiden and their specialist out. They decide to add a sister Trance. They equip her with the last pistol from the stash, flak armor, and stiletto knife. Dagger adds toxic ammo that causes bleeding. Siren will upgrade her ballistic skill by 1 through an advancement. Dagger increases her ballistic skill as well. Angel will increase her weapon skill, and Widow increases her cool. They have 8 active fighters with a gang rating of 1465. The Thunderhawks took a risk in the last game by deciding to bank credits. They add a bruiser, heater, and equip him with furnace plates, spudjacker, and stub gun. He is Vatborn with thermal hardening. Pit Stop adds furnace plates and an axe. Stem slugs are passed out again as well. For advancements, Big Red increases his toughness, and Beatstick and Crush increase their willpower. They depart with 8 active fighters and a gang rating of 1665. The Crimson Fane only has 40 credits. They pass out a Stem Slug and give Cleaver Manstopper rounds. The Butcher of Widow increases his movement by 1. Gormaw and Skullshank do the same. Marrow increases his cool, and Cleaver increases his intelligence. They depart today with 9 active fighters and a gang rating of 1945. Today's matchup is Gang Moot. Crews are random D3 plus 5, plus the leader. All gangs roll up for their full forces today. Tactics cards are random 2. House Escher receives Running Battle and Lucky Shot. House Goliath receives Brutal Charge and Boost Up. The Corpse Grinders receive Blessed by Death and Rain of Blood. Deployment will be determined by priority, and leaders will be placed within 6 inches of the center of the board. Fighters may then be placed anywhere on the battlefield, at least 12 inches from a leader and 6 inches from another fighter, friend or foe. As a special rule, at the start of battle, only leaders are ready. When a fighter takes a shoot action, all other unready fighters within 12 inches can pass an intelligence check to become ready. Ready fighters attacked in close combat or hit with a shooting attack become ready as long as they survive. In the end phase, each unready fighter can move 6 inches in any direction. The battle will end when only one gang has fighters left on the board. The winner is the gang with the leader still on the table and not seriously injured. We've got a 3-way battle in this one, and turn 1 is coming up next. And we've got priority rolls for turn 1 coming out. Looks like the Corpse Grinders will be up first, followed by House Goliath and House Escher. And in this parlay phase, the Butcher of Widows is going to take a step back, realizing if he charges one of these, he is probably going to get taken out by the other, so just using a move to get behind cover. Moving over to House Goliath, Big Red is going to do the same, just moving slightly behind cover. And then Siren is also going to take a step back, using both of her actions to move. In the end phase, any of these non-active fighters may move 6 inches in any direction. So without showing you all of these moves, we are going to get everyone moved around the battlefield, and then we will gear up for turn 2. And turn 2 priority rolls coming out. It looks like the House of Blades will be up first, followed by House Goliath and the Corpse Grinder Cult. Siren is going to target the Butcher here. Needs to pass a willpower check first. Her weapon is silent. This is a Needle Bolter combo. And first off, passing that willpower check, she is easily going to do that on an 11. She is able to take this shot, and her ballistic skill is 2. Has him in the open. She is easily going to hit, and we're going to take a toxin roll here to find out what happens. First, we're going to see if he falls. Initiative check being taken, which is a 4+ for the Butcher, and that will fail, so he is going to fall. This is a 7-inch fall, and that will hit him at strength 5. As the Butcher plummets to the bottom, hitting some unstable terrain there, still counting this as a full 7-inch fall. We are first going to take a toxin roll. That is no good, so he is fine there, but a strength 5 hit against his toughness of 4, that is going to do a wound, needing 3s, and he will take an armor save, which is going to fail, so he will take a wound. Nobody is alarmed from that shot because it is silent. Big Red activates next, and he is going to target Tempest. And firing with his combi bolt pistol, normally hitting on a 3, he aims to a 2 with his first action. Full cover makes it a 4. He is still going to hit her. She goes down pinned, and then needing 3s to wound, and that will do a wound. We will then take an initiative check to see if she falls. On a 3+, she stays where she is, but the AP of this weapon will cut right through her flak armor, and this was a 2 damage weapon, so 2 injury dice are being rolled out for Tempest, and it looks like she is going down with a serious injury. Now the crack of that bolt pistol could be heard, and Beatstick here is going to see if he can activate on a 9-up for his intelligence. He does not. And then we are going to roll for Punk here, and she is going to activate. She needed a 7 or better, and Marrow is going to attempt to activate as well, needing a 9. He does not. With the next activation, Punk is going to take aim at Marrow, and shooting with her las gun. She normally hits on 4. She's going to aim that down to a 3, and shot cracks out. That is going to be a hit, and ammo check will be required. The weapon is plentiful, so just on a 2-up, the ammo check is fine. Marrow is going to go down pinned. As strength 3 against toughness 3, 4 is needed to wound. There is no wound. Hearing the shot of that las gun, Beatstick attempts to activate again with an intelligence check on a 9-up. He does not. Marrow then activates, gets to his feet as he was shot at and hit. And getting to his feet, he is going to fire out with that auto pistol, and it is rapid fire. He sinks 3 hits into Punk. And strength 3, toughness 3, we're going to be looking for 4s here to wound on 3 dice. There's going to be 1 wound that goes through. She is wearing flak armor, so she will get a 6-up save. Save is going to be failed, so an injury die will be rolled out here for Punk, and it is a flesh wound. Once again, Beatstick hearing some noise on the other side, needs a 9-up to activate, and he does not. Nearby Flathead hears the action as well and attempts to pass an intelligence check to activate on a 9-up. He will do so. And then we have Gormaw up top, who also heard the pistol shots, and he is going to take an intelligence check as well, and he is going to easily pass, getting a 12. With House Escher being up next, we will just see a crawl maneuver from Tempest as she gets into cover. And then Flathead is going to take this opportunity to charge the champion Skullshank, and he is going to need to pass a willpower check due to the Cutter's Mask. That willpower check is a 9+. In order to make a fight action, that is going to fail. We do not allow him to activate as he was not hit. They're just kind of talking to each other right now, maybe pushing each other. Gormaw activates next, attempts to charge into Siren, rolls up a 2 on his D3. He has a base move of 6, so getting 8 inches on this charge, this will bring her into 4-inch versatile range with his weapon. The Flensing Saw is going to lash out. It will get 3 attacks. He has 2 base plus 1 for the charge. And normally he hits on 3s. Due to being at versatile range, it will require 4s. He will get 1 hit that goes through. And then this is going to be just 3s to wound. It does knock her back, so a test will need to be taken here. That is good to make sure she can stay where she's at and not fall. Now Siren just has a toughness of 2, so only 2s are needed to wound. Easily wounds. She will attempt to dodge, however, as that is her skill. On a 6-up, she will dodge the attack. That fails. So this will cut right through her armor and do 2 damage. It reduces her to 0 wounds. 1 injury dice will be coming out, and it is going to be a serious injury. As she did go down next to the ledge, we roll up an initiative. On a 2+, she is fine. And back on the other side of the board, the Corpse Grinders will activate the Butcher. He will stand up and simply move. And in the end phase of turn 2, fighters begin to move around the board. House Escher does have 2 fighters down. They cannot fail the bottle test right now, however, so we are going to go to recovery rolls. First off, rolling up for Siren to see if she rolls back over. She does not. She goes out of action, the Flensing Saw causing enough damage to take her out. And on a D66, she is dead. We then roll up for Tempest, and she stays down with a serious injury. Turn 3 coming up next. Turn 3 priority rolls coming out, and it looks like a tie between House Goliath and the Corpse Grinders. House Escher will go 3rd in this one, but we will re-roll these 2 out. And it looks like House Goliath will be up first. Big Red is going to move with his first action, decides to shoot with his second, targeting Widow as she is creeping closer with that gas weapon. He will need a straight 3 to hit with his combi bolt pistol, and that is going to hit. It is strength 4 against toughness 3, a 3 needed to wound. That will cause a wound. We are going to roll up an initiative check to see if she falls, and on a 2, she is going to fail, and she plummets 7 inches down to the ground floor. AP1 on that bolt pistol cuts through the flak armor, and that'll be 2 injury dice rolled out for her, 2 serious injuries. She then takes a strength 5 hit, which will cause a wound, needing 3s. And then she will take a save here, which fails, needing a 6. So another injury die will be rolled out for her, and it is going to be a flesh wound. Nearby fighters will react to those shots. Angel, checking to see if she becomes ready with an 8-up intelligence check. She will pass that. Beatstick, also within 12 inches, again needing a 9, and he is going to pass and become ready as well. We'll then go up to Clunk, who also needs an 8. He is going to fail. And Nearby Trance will get ready on a 7. The Corpse Grinders activate Marrow next, and he charges into Punk. He wields a Boning Sword and an Auto Pistol, 1 base, 1 for the charge, and 1 for 2 melee weapons. And he is going to hit on 4s. Punk will stand up from being prone in order to meet him. Those dice come rolling out, and 1 from the Boning Sword is going to hit. Strength 3, Toughness 3, 4s will be needed to wound, and that is going to cause a wound. The AP of the weapon will slice right through her flak armor, and an injury die will be rolled out for Punk. 2 of them, she goes down with a serious injury and gets the coup de grace from Marrow. And rolling up a D66, it is a 65. She will be critical. And we move over to House Escher, where it looks like Angel is going to charge into Beatstick. Now, she only has a last pistol to fire. Was unsure if she got an unarmed attack for charging. But anyway, we roll out for the last pistol, giving her that 1 shot. That is going to miss. An ammo check is required. It is plentiful, so on a 2-up, it is fine. Beatstick will turn to make reaction attacks. That will make him -1. That is going to miss. Beatstick then activates for House Goliath and will attack with that heavy rock saw. It is unwieldy, so it's the only attack that he gets. He needs a 4. That will miss. Angel will make reaction attacks with her last pistol, and 1 shot ringing back out. She hits on 3s, and this is going to hit, and it will need 5s to cause a wound. As he is toughness 4, she will cause a wound, and an armor save will be taken for furnace plates in the front, which is a 5-up save. That fails. An injury die will be rolled out for Beatstick. And the result of that injury die is going to be a serious injury. As a note, there cannot be a coup de grace, as this was not during her activation, it was from reaction attacks. Action continues as we move over to Gormaw. He is going to stick himself with a stem slug. base moving 6. That takes him to an 8, and he rolls up a D3 on the charge. That's a total of an 11-inch charge, so he is easily going to get into contact or into versatile range with Big Red, and he is going to unleash that rotary flensing saw once again, getting +2 to his strength. He's going to stay just a little bit away from him here. He will be at a -1 on his weapon skill due to being at range with that versatile weapon, but 3 attacks coming out nonetheless. The rotary flensing saw coming out now, again needing 4s in order to hit. And that is all going to fail. It was at this time we noticed one fighter kind of tucked into some terrain down here that we forgot to roll for. He is going to take a intelligence check, easily pass, needing a 9. He will have the opportunity to activate. Back to House Escher, Trance is going to charge into Clunk, and she does have a Toxin Stiletto Knife, as well as a Las Pistol. There will be 3 total attacks here as she charges into Clunk, and it looks like one of these will go through, hitting on 4s. That will be one from the Stiletto Knife, so we will take a Toxin roll here. And on a 4+, that is going to lead to an injury die. He will get the opportunity to take a save, and he has Furnace Plates. This is not in the front, however, so a 6-up required. That fails. He goes down with a serious injury due to Toxin, and we'll get the coup de grace from Trance. A D66 being rolled out for him. It's a 43, which is Grievous. We've then got Heater, who is going to activate. He is going to move twice down the alleyway. Back over to the Corpse Grinders, the Butcher of Widows is going to charge into Zerk, and he is going to unleash a barrage of attacks. He has paired Butcher's Chain Cleavers, making his base attacks 4, +1 for the charge, and 1 for dual melee weapons. There'll be 6 in total, and he hits on 2s. So charging in, all of these but 1 are going to connect. Now this is Strength 5 against Zerk's Toughness of 5, so it should have been forced to wound. I think we included that 3 there as a wound, but these 6s are Shred, which doubles the weapon's AP. This is going to cut right through his Furnace Plates regardless. We roll out 5 injury dice here. It should have just been 3, but you can take your pick as to what was going to happen. Even with just those 2 flesh wounds, he would have gotten a serious injury or an out of action. We roll up on the D66 for him as he is taken out of action, and it is an 11, which is lesson learned. The Butcher of Widows will then consolidate. Back over to the 9s of House Escher, we've got a crawl maneuver that will take place from Widow. And then we're going to try and attack again here as we move back to House Goliath. Flathead passes a willpower check and will fight. He will hit with his axe and Spudjacker. The Spudjacker in yellow is the one that connects. 3s are needed to wound at Strength 5 versus Toughness 3. That is successful. And there will be a save that is taken here that is going to be failed. 1 wound will be applied to Skullshank. He will then react. And paired Butcher's Chain Cleavers gives him 4 base attacks, and he is going to hit on his weapon skill of 3. He will also get 1 extra die for paired weapons. So 5 go out. 4 of these 5 are going to hit. And he is Strength 4, so +1 for the weapon is Strength 5, wounding on 3s. All of those are going to wound. They will cut through his Furnace Plates, and a ton of injury dice rolling out here. He's going out of action. A D66 will be rolled up for him, and that is going to be an 11 as well, also lesson learned. Skullshank will then roll up to consolidate and move towards Dagger. And that brings us to the end of turn 3 as we begin to move fighters around the board that are unactive. They can move up to 6 inches. House Escher and House Goliath really struggling with the Corpse Grinders in this one. They have several fighters that are active, and the Butcher of Widows that fell off the edge early, that actually has done nothing but help the Corpse Grinder cult. And in addition, they are not firing any weapons. Everything has been close combat. In the end phase, we do need to roll up for Gorma, who injected himself with a Stem Slug. He does roll a 1, so an injury die will actually come out for him. This could be big here. and it is just a flesh wound. Now rolling up for a bottle check on House Escher, they are good, and then a 5 is rolled up for House Goliath, that is a bottle. Recovery rolls then come out, and Beatstick will roll back over with a flesh wound. We'll then take another recovery roll for Tempest, and she is going to roll back over with a flesh wound as well. On the other side, Widow going to roll a recovery roll, and she is going out of action. The fall from the catwalk apparently being too much. A D66 is rolled out for her, and it is a 55, which is a spinal injury. As we start to move fighters around the board and finish up with in-phase moves, we are getting ready for turn 4. Turn 4 priority rolls coming out now, and the Corpse Grinders will be up first, followed by House Escher and then House Goliath. Cool checks are coming out for Big Red on a 5+, and for Crush on a 5+ as well. He's the only one not within range, both are good. And starting action, Big Red is face to face with Gorma, and this can't bode well for him, facing that rotary flensing saw. A fight action would give him 2 attacks, but he is at range, so hitting on 4s. It'll be 2 shots going out. He does have Rain of Blows, which allows him to treat this action as a simple. One of these will connect on that 6. 3's in order to wound. That will wound him with a 5. And this is going to cut right through the furnace plates. Injury die rolls out as he's reduced to 0 wounds. It's a serious injury. And with the Rain of Blow skills, he will get a chance to attack again. And this time we will get 2 hits. And that will result in 1 more wound. Again, cutting through the furnace plates. 2 injury dice rolled out this time. Serious injury. And now moving over to House Escher, Angel will do a fight action with that last pistol. She is hitting on 3s. Beatstick would be standing right now. He would get up from being prone, rolled over with that flesh wound. Last pistol fires out. That shot is going to miss. Ammo check required, needing a 2+, and it fails. She will use her second action to reload that weapon on a 2+, and she will do that. Beatstick will get to his feet and make reaction attacks, hitting on a 4+. He will sink a hit, and this weapon is strength 6, and a 1 will not get it done. We then move over to Skullshank, easily going to make a charge into Dagger, and he is going to attack with his paired Butcher's Chain Cleavers. His base attack of 2 becomes a 4, +1 for the charge, +1 for dual melee weapons. We do reroll a cock die out here looking for 3s, and it looks like all but 1 are going to make it. And now rolling out to wound, once again needing 3s. That is going to be 3 wounds that go through, and there will be a shred on that 6, which doubles the AP. It cuts through her flak armor regardless. 6 injury dice coming out, and she is going to get the coup de grace from Skullshank. On a D66, Dagger will get a 23, which is out cold. Up top, we've now got Trance, who is going to aim at Marrow, and this will bring her down to a 2. That is going to miss. We are going to re-roll these back out. Escher using Lucky Shot. That is going to hit. He will go down pinned. The wound roll will be good, and an armor save will be taken here, 5 up with an Initiate's Mask, and that is going to fail, so an injury die will be rolled out for him, and he's going down with a serious injury. We will take an initiative check to see if he falls, but on that 3 up, he gets a +1 for the railing. He does not. And then we will see if the nearby Goliath fighter will activate. This is Pit Stop. He will on a 9, so he will become ready. Belloc just out of range. Pit Stop is going to try to charge Belloc. He has 2 axes that he picked up from the stash. First he got to pass a willpower check, but he fails. He needed a 9 or better. Marrow is then going to move to the door and use his second action to open it. Back over for Escher, we've got Tempest. She will get to her feet and use her second action to move. And then we swing back to House Goliath. We've got Heater using both of his actions to move. And then for the Corpse Grinder Cult, the Butcher is going to go up to the 2nd level. That brings us to the end of turn 4. We do have a bottle check coming out for House Escher, and on that 3, they're actually still okay, hanging in this game. Recovery test coming out for Big Red. And he is going to stay down with a serious injury. Moving over, we are going to roll for Marrow, recovery roll, and he is going to take a flesh wound. Fighters begin to move around the board, and we get ready for turn 5 coming up next. Turn 5 priority roll is coming out. The Corpse Grinder Cult will be up first, followed by Escher and House Goliath. And we saw this coming. Gormaw is going to charge into Big Red, take him out of action. That is 2 of the leaders down. A D66 will be rolled up for him. And it is a 36, which is Grievous. Trance is going to charge into Marrow, and he will stand to meet her. She does have a Last Pistol and a Stiletto Knife. Base attack 1, +1 for the charge, and 1 for dual melee weapons. It'd be 3 total attacks, hitting on 4s. The Last Pistol in yellow, they're both going to hit. And he is on a toughness of 2 now, so there will be 3s in order to wound. That Toxin roll is going to be good from the Stiletto Knife, and then 1 of the shots from the pistol will be good. Now, he will have the opportunity to take saves here, needing a 5-up, as he does have Flak Armor and Initiate's Mask. That Last Pistol fails. The Toxin roll fails as well, so in total, 2 injury dice will be rolled out. And that'll be a flesh wound and a serious injury, but he will get the coup de grace from Trance. The result of that D66 is a 32, which is Grievous. Next up, Heater is going to move forward. And he is going to attempt to shoot at the Butcher of Widows with his step gun. And this would require 6s. He is a base of 4, but full cover takes it to a 6, looking for a lucky shot here. He does not get it. Intelligence checks are then rolled up, and on a 6, Belloc will not get it, needing a 9 or higher. We'll roll up for Diablo here. On a 7, he will not activate either. Marrow will then activate, and he is going to move into contact with Beatstick, attempting to take him out of action. And he's going to attack with that Auto Pistol and Boning Sword. 3 total attacks coming out, needing 4s. And all of these are going to miss. There will be an ammo check that's required, needing a 4+. That is good. Beatstick will turn to make reaction attacks, but he will be hitting on a 5+. That is going to miss. And we've then got Tempest, who is going to take a shot at Gormaw, and she is going to aim first, normally hitting on a 4. She aims down to a 3, short range to a 2, but the willpower check fails again. The shot is not able to go. Back to House Goliath, Beatstick will attack Marrow, and he requires 4s in order to hit, and that is not going to do it. Marrow will get to attack back, and he will need 4s as well. Both the Boning Sword and the Auto Pistol land. The ammo check is good for the Auto Pistol, and then he will be wounding on 4s, as Beatstick is now a toughness of 3. With both of these wounds going through, it is rending, so that's going to add 1 damage. The Furnace Plate save is failed. The Boning Sword cuts right through, and we're going to roll out 2 injury dice for him. He goes down with a serious injury and gets the coup de grace from Marrow. And on a D66, on a 41, it will be Grievous. Moving back over to the Corpse Grinders, the Butcher of Widows is going to move twice towards Heater. And now Angel is going to activate, charging into Marrow, hoping to get something with that Last Pistol. Again, getting 1 shot in close combat, and it will require 3s in order to hit. And that shot is going to hit. Strength 3, Toughness 3, 4 is required to wound, and that is not going to wound. Marrow will get reaction attacks, And he is going to hit on 4s with that Boning Sword and Auto Pistol. Both of these will go through. And now he needs 4s in order to wound. And there will be no wounds. They will stay locked up in combat. Up top, we've got Pit Stop. He is going to attempt to charge, passing a willpower check, needing a 9 up, and he will get that. He is going to charge into Belloc, wielding his 2 axes. 1 base, 1 for the charge, 1 for 2 melee weapons. And he will be hitting on 4s. We'll get 1 hit out of this. 3s will be needed to wound. And that is going to wound. Armor save is going to be taken. He gets a 3 up here, as he's got plate mail, armored undersuit, and a Skinner's mask. And that is going to fail, so an injury die coming out here after being struck with the axe, and it is a flesh wound. He will activate and take reaction attacks. And he has paired heavy chain cleavers, which can really hurt. There will be 3 total attacks that come back across, hitting on 3s. And 1 of these will go through, and then 3s are needed to wound, and that is going to do a wound, cut right through the furnace plates, and it is an automatic out of action due to the sever rule, rolling that 6. And a D66 is a 66, and he is dead as well. Belloc then consolidates forward. The Corpse Grinders will activate next, and the Skullshank is going to move forward twice. And that brings us to the end phase. Escher rolls up a 2 on the bottle test, and they are still hanging in this game. That is still not a bottle. Trying desperately to get that Ambot over to get activated, but just don't know if they're going to be able to make it there in time. We are getting ready for turn 6. The priority rolls for turn 6 hitting the deck, and it looks like House Goliath will be up first. House Escher is second, and the Corpse Grinders are third. A cool check going out for Crush on a 5 up. He is good. We will also take 1 for Heater over here as well, and he will pass his cool check as well on a 5 up. Heater is going to elect to charge into the Butcher, and the reason that he is doing this is if he can take him out, then they could potentially force a draw in this match as no leaders would be left. But he's got to make a willpower test. He again fails, and that action stops. Tempest is then going to use her action to move, and she is going to shoot down at the Butcher. Normally hitting on 4, short range 3, but he is engaged. It takes it back to a 4. And going to need to pass a willpower check, and that is going to fail on a 6. Belloc then activates third, and he charges into Trance, and he is going to unleash those heavy paired Butcher's Chain Cleavers, getting an extra 1 now because of the charge, and an extra 1 because he is a Berserker. Skinners get that +1 to attack, and that's just going to be a lot of hits going out, needing 3s, and if any of these are 6s, it's automatic out of actions, and there's a 6 down there that's going to sever, so she will be taken out of action. A D66 roll for her was a 36, which is grievous. And we're going to go ahead and resolve this combat over here, as the Boning Sword and the Auto Pistol are going to hit and wound Angel, and there is a Ren that goes down. The only one that she can save is the Auto Pistol, and she needs a 6 with her flak armor. She will get that. However, that Boning Sword is still going to go through, and the Ren triggers an extra point of damage. So there will be 3 total injury dice that come out. She is going out of action and gets the coup de grace. A D66 roll for her ended up being a 22, which is out cold. Marrow consolidates. And then we've got Gormaw. He is going to charge into Tempest, and getting a 1 on the D3 roll. That'll take him 7 inches. He'll check up just a little bit short, but she's still within versatile range, so that Rotary Flensing Saw comes roaring out again with 3 attacks, 2 base, +1 for the charge, hitting on 4s, and 1 of those is going to go through, and then it will be, her toughness is 2, so it's going to be wounding her on 2s. That actually fails to wound. Now the Butcher of Widows will activate next, and he is going to swing into Heater, and numerous attacks coming from his paired Butcher's Chain Cleavers. There's 5 in total that will end up all hitting, as he has a weapon skill of 2, and then wounding him on 3s. Just a ton of wounds going out, only one misses. It will cut right through his furnace plates. We're going to go ahead and roll up a D66 for heater, and on a 61, he is critical. And with turn 6 over, we're quickly going to go to turn 7, as there's really only one thing that can happen. And rolling for initiative, House Escher is going to get the initiative in turn 7, and Tempest is going to attempt to shoot down at the Butcher of Widows. She is going to use her first action to aim. Normally hitting on a 4, it goes to a 3, first needing to pass that willpower check, and she does. And the short range is going to make this a 2 to hit. So she is going to sink a hit into the Butcher, and he is operating on a toughness of 4, so a 5 is needed to wound, and she will not get it. So this is where it is going to fall short for House Escher and House Goliath, as the Corpse Grinders are going to easily clean up the rest of the board and take a victory today. We've got the post-game report coming right up. Be sure to stay tuned for my thoughts on this scenario, as well as some learnings, some things that we certainly did wrong and can certainly apply to next time, and give you some insight if you play the scenario in the future. And welcome to the post-game, where this one was pretty easy for the Corpse Grinder cult. They improved their record to 3-3, while House Goliath fall to 2-4, and House Escher to 1-5. This scenario was a bit doomed from the beginning for the other gangs. We started to notice a few turns in that half the board wasn't going to notice a fight was happening. This was due to Big Red, the Goliath leader, being the only one that had a gun that made noise. Siren only took one shot, which could have been huge as her weapon was toxic. Knocking the Butcher off, however, gave him free rein to take the other fighters out without them having much of a chance to do anything. In addition, not only did fighters have to pass an intelligence check, which often was an 8 or 9, but they also had to subsequently pass a willpower check to charge, or in some cases, fight the Corpse Grinders. It was a tough battle for Goliath and Escher, one where an Ambot and Stemmer didn't even activate. Overall, I thought the scenario had a lot of potential, but with the way we set up and played it, it just didn't meet my expectations. If you play the scenario, I would suggest getting your heavy guns near someone where you think they will be activated. If not, you could potentially play the entire game and not use them. For spoils, the Corpse Grinder cult will gain 8 reputation. House Goliath and House Escher will gain 1 each. We had several injuries in this one, with 2 memorable deaths. The Goliath bully Pitstop died at the hands of Belloc, and the Escher leader, Siren, bled out from Gormaw's saw. Depending on what happens in our next game, the Corpse Grinder cult could bump into second place. The MVP of this match goes to Gormaw. A 6-inch base move with stem slugs and a 4-inch versatile weapon is a brutal combo. He can reach opponents up to 15 inches away. He took both enemy leaders down, Siren and Big Red, and knocked Widow off a catwalk that led to her receiving a spinal injury. We had a lot of fun making and filming this battle report, and I really hope you enjoyed it. It didn't quite meet my expectations, but it is what it is. Also, a big thanks to my 2022 Coffee Supporters Club. I try to update these each time we play a game with marks on our terrain. If you want any information on that, a link will be in the description below. It is not necessary, and if you've watched the video this far, you've done more than enough to support my channel, so thank you. We have one more game to wrap up this season, and I look forward to mapping out more Necromunda in Season 4 with more gangs, maybe some Ash Waste, who knows. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.